He is feared as the Prince of Darkness, an immortal predator who walks the night. But even legends have their limits. Dracula may strike terror into the hearts of men, yet behind the fangs and shadows, he carries ancient curses that bind him. From holy relics to the light of day, these are the secrets that weaken the Lord of Vampires. And stay with us until the end, because we'll reveal his greatest weakness, the one that destroyed Vlad the Impaler himself. Dracula, the Prince of Darkness, the eternal predator, the nightmare that stalks humanity. But what if I told you this immortal monster is not invincible? Behind the cloak of terror lie secrets, ancient weaknesses that can strip him of his power. Sunlight, holy symbols, garlic, and even running water. Each one has the power to break the count. And before we finish, I'll reveal the most devastating weakness of all, the one that brought down Vlad the Impaler himself. The curse of sunlight. Though immortal, Dracula cannot thrive in the light of day. In Bram Stoker's original novel, sunlight does not reduce him to ash as in modern films, but it does rob him of his supernatural powers. By daylight, Dracula loses his ability to vanish, to command storms, or to shapeshift into a wolf or a bat. He becomes vulnerable, forced to retreat into the shadows until night falls again. Later adaptations exaggerated this limitation, turning sunlight into a fatal force that burns his flesh and reduces him to dust. Symbolically, sunlight represents purity, truth, and divine order, the direct opposite of the darkness and chaos that Dracula embodies. The day exposes him, reminding us that evil can never endure in the full light of truth. One of Dracula's most feared adversaries is not a warrior with a sword, but a simple symbol of faith. The crucifix, the sign of the cross, and even consecrated ground cause him pain and repel him. In Dracula, Van Helsing and his companions use holy wafers and crucifixes to ward him off, forcing the Count to recoil like a beast against a flame. These symbols represent more than physical objects. They embody the collective belief in good, order, and divine authority. In many interpretations, the power of the holy object depends on the faith of the one who wields it. To a true believer, the crucifix burns like fire against Dracula's skin, while to one without faith, it is nothing more than wood and metal. Here, the battle becomes spiritual as much as physical, showing that Dracula is ultimately a creature of blasphemy, undone by the light of faith. Garlic may seem humble compared to crucifixes and sunlight, but it is one of the oldest and most enduring vampire repellents. In Transylvanian folklore, garlic was believed to purify and protect against evil spirits. Its pungent aroma was thought to drive away unclean forces, and villagers would hang garlic braids over doors and windows to keep vampires at bay. In Stoker's novel, Van Helsing places garlic around Lucy Westenra's room to prevent Dracula from feeding on her. The Count, unable to cross the barrier of the scent, is forced to retreat. Symbolically, garlic connects us to the earth, life, and natural purity, a sharp contrast to Dracula's undead corruption. Though not lethal on its own, garlic represents the power of ordinary people to fight back against darkness with simple, natural defenses. Perhaps one of Dracula's strangest and lesser-known weaknesses is his inability to cross running water freely. In folklore, moving water was seen as a natural boundary that evil could not cross without restriction. For Dracula, this rule binds him tightly. He can only cross running water at the ebb and flow of the tide, and even then, often within his coffin or protected container of native soil. This weakness plays a crucial role in limiting his freedom, tethering him to the land and the conditions of nature. Symbolically, water represents purity, cleansing, and life, forces that reject corruption. For a creature of decay, the rushing flow of water is an impenetrable wall, reminding us that nature itself stands as a defense against the unnatural. Each of these weaknesses, sunlight, holy symbols, garlic, and running water, chips away at Dracula's power, revealing the fragility behind the mask of immortality. Yet none of them compare to his greatest weakness, the one that sealed the fate of Vlad the Impaler himself. Stay with us, because soon we'll uncover the true weapon that destroyed the man behind the myth. One of the strangest yet most powerful limitations on Dracula is that he cannot cross the threshold of a home without being invited inside. To mortals, it seems almost absurd. Why should a creature of such immense strength and cunning be held back by something as simple as a doorway? Yet this rule is deeply symbolic. The home represents sanctuary, a sacred place of family and protection. Evil, no matter how terrifying, cannot force its way in unless it is allowed. This weakness also exposes Dracula's most human trait. His power depends on consent. In folklore and Stoker's novel alike, once an invitation is given, it cannot be revoked easily. The vampire has free rein to return. Thus, the simple act of saying "come in" could doom an entire household. It's a reminder that darkness often enters not through force, but through permission. Though more commonly associated with werewolves, silver has also been tied to Dracula's lore in later adaptations. Silver, a metal linked to the moon, purity and incorruptibility, was believed to wound or weaken vampires. Silver weapons, whether bullets, blades or crosses, pierce through the unnatural flesh of the undead with greater potency than ordinary steel. In some traditions, silver also acts as a mirror to the soul, reflecting truth where Dracula cast no reflection. While Bram Stoker never explicitly wrote of silver's power over his count, the association grew over time as storytellers blended folklore. Symbolically, silver's incorruptible shine is everything Dracula is not: eternal, pure, and untainted by decay. Where Dracula thrives on corruption, silver cuts through with the cold light of truth. Fire is one of the most primal forces of destruction, and even the Lord of Vampires is not immune to its fury. While not always listed among his traditional weaknesses, fire appears in many tales as a way to cleanse and destroy creatures of the night. It consumes the body, leaves no safe resting place, and denies Dracula the sanctuary of his coffin. Fire is nature's purifier. It burns corruption away and leaves nothing but ash. Symbolically, fire represents divine wrath and judgment. For a creature who defies the natural order of life and death, fire is the ultimate reminder that all things, even the immortal, can be reduced to nothing. Where steel wounds and sunlight weakens, fire obliterates. If ordinary running water forms a natural barrier to Dracula, then holy water is its divine counterpart, a weapon sanctified to burn and repel him. Holy water scorches the vampire like acid, searing flesh and forcing him back. In some legends, a splash of holy water could even destroy a vampire outright. In Bram Stoker's tale, Van Helsing uses sacred wafers to contaminate Dracula's lairs. But the concept of blessed water has since become one of the most iconic weapons in the vampire hunter's arsenal. Symbolically, holy water is life itself, sanctified by faith and divine authority. Where Dracula drinks the blood of the living to sustain his curse, holy water turns that cycle against him, liquid purity that eats away at corruption. It is both weapon and shield, proof that faith can transform even the simplest element into a force of destruction against darkness. These rules and relics strip away the illusion of Dracula's invincibility. He may be the Prince of Darkness, but even he is bound by thresholds, purity, flame, and faith. Yet hidden beneath all of these lies one weakness greater than them all. A weakness not only of the monster, but of the man. The very flaw that brought about the death of Vlad the Impaler. And that is the secret we'll reveal next. Let's be honest, none of these weaknesses, not sunlight, not garlic, not holy water, could ever truly destroy Dracula. And as for the man behind the legend, Vlad Țepeș, no blade nor symbol could strike fear into him. He was a ruler so terrifying that most men did not even dare to breathe wrong in his presence. He was the impaler, the warlord, the nightmare of his enemies. But even the strongest men, even the immortal, carry a weakness that no weapon can pierce. For Dracula, for Vlad, that weakness was not fear of the cross, nor fire, nor silver. His greatest weakness was love. Love for his people, love for his homeland, And it was that devotion, that relentless loyalty that brought about his fall. For all his cunning, all his cruelty, he was not expecting betrayal from within. It is said that one of his own subordinates turned against him in battle and struck the fatal blow, decapitating the man who was thought to be unkillable. Not because of garlic, not because of sunlight, but because his heart, bound to his people, left him blind to the treachery of those closest to him. In the end, it was not the stake nor the sword that destroyed the Prince of Darkness. It was love, the most human weakness of all. And if you want to uncover more dark secrets of Dracula, legends of Vlad, and the truths that hide behind the myths, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Scarydrac, where the shadows are always waiting for you.